Let's go, Eagles! Sunday started off busy behind the scenes, and I'm feeling a good feeling. Hopefully, a winning one. We have some important points to share with you, but before we go any further, I want to ask you something. What grade would you give our general manager, Howie Roseman? From 0 to 10. Write it down. And of course, don't forget to hit the like button hard if you believe we're going to beat the Raiders. Yes, birds, the Eagles are heading into another crucial matchup, and although the weather forecast in Philadelphia indicates snow and a wind chill of 13 centimeters at the end of the game, the real storm may be coming from the trenches of Lincoln Financial Field. Yes, the weather is cold, but the pressure is immense, and that has everything to do with a game that is more complex than it appears. Because, although the Raiders arrive in town with a 2-11 record, this game seems much more unpredictable than most are willing to admit. At the heart of this unpredictability is Raiders defensive end Maxx Crosby, who could be the most dangerous player on the field Sunday. The Eagles are set to play without Lane Johnson once again, and with Fred Johnson recovering from an ankle injury, though he insists he will play, the right side of the offensive line is under attack. And it's not just about the numbers with Crosby. He's responsible for nearly a third of the Raiders' sacks this season, and leads the team with 50 total pressures, even being covered by 2 players on virtually every play. That's no exaggeration. The pressure on the opposing quarterback isn't a collective threat. It's Crosby or nothing. And he has proven week after week that teams can't simply neutralize him with strategies. The Eagles' offense, as of late, has been searching for its identity. It's been inconsistent, predictable, and at times downright stagnant. The frustration reached a fever pitch in the Monday night loss, where forced throws and a lack of rhythm led to costly turnovers. But this week, the team is preaching execution, not emotion. Players have echoed the sentiment that vibes follow performance, not the other way around. And that's why Philly fans are being encouraged to take a page from their own history and show some unconditional support, even if it feels undeserved at the moment. Think Trey Turner last summer. Philly fans gave him a standing ovation at his lowest, and it flipped his season. Now, they're being asked to do the same for an Eagles offense that desperately needs to feel the city behind them. That support will be crucial, especially considering the Raiders boast one of the best run defenses in the league. Yes, you read that right. While their record is abysmal, Vegas is top 5 in the NFL in yards per carry allowed, and they stack the box more than any other team. So, don't expect Saquon Barkley or anyone else in the Eagles' backfield to find much room. That puts the pressure squarely back on Jalen Hurts, who's going to have to beat them through the air, likely in freezing wind, against a secondary that plays zone coverage nearly 80% of the time, mostly cover 3. That's where Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown come in. Since the bye, A.J. Brown has quietly become Philly's most productive weapon against zone defenses. He's caught 27 of 35 targets in those looks and has 3 touchdowns in his last 3 games. Still, Devonta remains the zone beater in this offense. Between the two, there's every reason to believe the Eagles can exploit Vegas's secondary if Hurts has time to throw, which, again, comes back to containing Maxx Crosby. Defensively, Vic Fangio's unit has been one of the few steady hands through this bumpy stretch. And it's not just the stars. It's the depth, it's the rotation, it's the culture. Despite missing Jalen Carter for another week, this is still a top-tier unit. Philly leads the NFL in fewest yards allowed to tight ends this season, a crucial stat when facing Brock Bowers, who's been one of the Raiders' only consistent threats. The rest of the Raiders' offense? A mix of youth, inconsistency, and a truly dreadful offensive line. Let's talk about that O-line. Vegas is starting Stone Forsythe at left tackle with Colton Miller out. Forsythe has allowed 10 sacks this year, most in the NFL. On the right side, DJ Glaze has given up 7 more. That's 17 sacks combined on the edges. If Eagles edge rushers like Josh Sweat, Nolan Smith, or even the rotation pieces can't capitalize, it'll be a missed opportunity of epic proportions. But it's not just about pressure. There's a chess match brewing under the surface of this game, and it centers on familiarity. Kenny Pickett will start at quarterback for Vegas, returning to the city he once called home, both literally and figuratively. He practiced against this Eagles defense every day last year. He knows them, and they know him. Zach Bond said it best this week. We know what he's about and what he can't do. That's confidence rooted in experience. Still, Pickett isn't coming in cold. He completed 8 of 11 for 97 yards and a touchdown last week in relief, and he's known for attacking the sidelines. In fact, more than 53% of his throws target the perimeter, highest in the NFL for quarterbacks with 56-plus attempts, and he averages a whopping 10 yards per attempt on those. That's why discipline on the back end is critical. The Eagles can't afford to get lulled into stacking the box and daring Pickett to throw. He will, and he's not afraid to take chances. Yet, the more pressing threat might just be the parallels to last year's disaster against Arizona. That game came at this exact point in the calendar, with Philly as double-digit favorites against a desert team with nothing to lose. Arizona won, and here we are again, Raiders, underdogs, with no expectations and every reason to play loose and free. But there's reason for optimism. Owner Jeffrey Lurie has gone on record saying he's not concerned with recent struggles. He believes in this team. Beat writers are reporting no signs of locker room division. And perhaps most importantly, the schedule favors a bounce back. The Raiders are 2-11. Then come the Commanders, twice at 3-10. Even the Bills, for all their talent, have allowed 23-plus points in 4 of their last 5 games. The Eagles don't need to be perfect, they just need to be competent. That starts with Jalen Hurts, and believe it or not, there's a trend worth noting. In games played on Sunday, Hurts has thrown 15 touchdowns and 0 interceptions this season. He doesn't seem to like the spotlight of Thursday, Monday, or Saturday games. Put him on Sunday, and he settles in. That's exactly what Philly needs. A steady, clean performance. Not spectacular, just smart, decisive football. So now I turn to you. With all this context, all this pressure, and all these variables, do you believe the Eagles will finally deliver the get-right game we've all been waiting for? Or is this another trap waiting to happen? Let me know your take in the comments. See seat.